The toughest part of Area 99 is that unlike Rebirth, it requires you to have really good game sense, whether it's recognizing a third party, understanding when to use positioning versus movement, or just understanding where to rotate to next. You have to have really good game sense. So in today's video, we're going to be breaking down a really clean high kill win that I had, answering one question throughout. Why? Why do I do what I do? Why do I make the decisions that I make? And ultimately, how does that allow me to drop a clean high kill win on Area 99? Now, when it comes to dropping high kills, guys, of course, execution is the most important thing. But outside of that, I think remembering information is so crucial on this map. And here's why. When we look at the mini map right here, I know that I have this team over here. Okay, we'll take note of that. But what happens is this team over here, there's two teams fighting. And when we talk about that third party dynamic, as this team is fighting and starts to finesse, they naturally rotate this way. So all of a sudden, they are finessing into my building, which means either I'm going to third party them and they're just going to run into me and I'm going to get the kill, or I'm going to get pushed by them, and all of a sudden now I'm getting third-partied and I'm in this weird situation. That is one thing that we're going to be paying attention to throughout this video. So when it comes to game sense, recognizing those minimap pings and remembering the places that you can get third-party from and get shot from is crucial on this map when it comes to having success. Now, we're going to go ahead, we're going to push in here, we're going to take out this enemy, immediately recognize those two enemies to my left. So my initial thought process here is, hey, let's go third party this, right? Let's go see if we can play a little bit of positioning. Let's go see if we can get an easy kill where a guy doesn't have full plates. But what we saw pop out of that crate was a supply box UAV. We are always going to prioritize loadout. We've got three potential options here. I'm just going to rotate this way. And what I will also add to this, guys, is if you are playing with a squad and you guys all land together, you get a supply box UAV. So take advantage of that, and one of you guys needs to go hit the loadout crate or two loadout crates that you see on radar. Now, at this moment, remembering information, we're going to keep going back to that, right? So we have this team over here. We obviously have these people over down this way, but don't forget about the people that initially were in this building right here, okay? So we know that we have enemies in this building that we have to keep in mind. And I muted my mic audio, but I actually say that in game. Hey, I've got to worry about this team to my right side. Real quick, by the way, if you are looking to get better at Area 99 or Rebirth Island, take a second, make sure you are subscribed down below. If you're not subscribed already, give me 30 days, guys. Give me 30 days, watch my videos, pay attention to what I'm saying, start to implement it, and I promise you, your KD is going to go up, you're going to break your PRs. Just check the comments down below. People comment all the time about the success they've had just from following along with my videos. But back in here, we're going to go ahead, we're going to grab this loadout crate. Now, this is before the XM4 with the buffer weight stock, so I am using the GPR right here. And when we start to think about that positioning versus movement dynamic, there's two things that we want to keep in mind right here, okay? Let's watch this play out here, and then I want to break down why I make the decision that I do, okay? So we're just going to go ahead and leave that. Now, I kind of work back this way. Why? Again, that's going to be the most important question. Now, once I get my loadout, immediately what I'm thinking here is, hey, I know that I have this guy over here who shot me before, right? That I kind of broke with that XMG and then pushed over here to loadout, right? The guy that was sitting right up top here. And I still have this team that's kind of back behind me on radar. Obviously, we can see they're a little bit outside. So I'm just trying to play a little bit of positioning, see if I can get a knock right here. I personally prefer fighting at reactor, especially because I don't really know what's behind these doors right here. These doors right here, I don't really know what's behind. So I don't want to just go push in there blindly and get caught by three enemies shooting me, one from each corner, right? That's a situation a lot of you guys run into. So we refocus on this team back here. Let's see what we can find. We obviously hear some shooting on the mini map, trying to get it down, and I can't quite do it. So what is our next play from here? When we talk about a one kill start, guys, still very early in the game. Then we hear some shooting over this direction. We see this guy up top, okay? We are able to get that down. So now what do? Okay, now we can start to work this direction here. Why? Well, we have that down, but let's start to work that way, see if we can get the thirst, which gives us the kill. And what are we going to do? We're going to really focus on this cover dynamic, guys. When it comes to that game sense component, one of the biggest things that you need to be thinking about is your cover. at all times. So then we start to piece this together. We need to remember information. Still people floating around. Still this team back behind me here somewhere, right, that I got to be concerned about. But at the moment, I'm going to focus on this team over this direction. So we're always going to worry about our cover. Now, I'm trying to get this thirst. I'm trying to get to a spot here where I can get this thirst, because that then gives me the clear-cut information on the minimap, which then tells me, okay, what's my next move? How many enemies is it? Is it 1? Is it 3? Are they separated? Are they stacking? Can I use positioning? Can I use movement? Like, that kind of answers the questions, but I can't get that thirst, so I just back off. Okay, I don't really have that angle to get that thirst. I still don't like that team, and I still know that there's people backside this way. Just kind of execute right there. We're going to take a slightly different angle here, thinking ahead. We're able to get that down, and then from there, what do you see? You see one up above. Watch this guy on radar right here, okay? Watch this enemy on radar. I clearly see him push down, so I know that he is chasing me at this moment, but more importantly, what I know is that it's a 1v1 fight. So watch this play out in full speed, okay? So we're going to get this kill right here. We're going to think ahead, and I want you to look at the minimap and just listen. On my level. I hear him shoot. Right side, anticipate, hip fire, broken, down, thirsted, right? So that's where we piece that information and execution together, which we always talk about, specifically that hip fire before I ADS. Now, immediately, I'm going to start to kind of work this next direction here and see what I can find. I know people are in reactor, really good shots right there, and now we back off. But more importantly, what do we see here, okay? So I work this direction. Why? Because look at the minimap, okay? So we see the minimap right here. I see that these guys are kind of working towards me. So now I'm going to try to basically figure out where they're going to challenge from. Okay, we challenge from outside. We see this guy straight ahead. Really good execution. Of course, execution is always going to be the #1 thing. Now look at radar again. Okay, we see the one guy on my level inside of reactor right here. So I'm going to go ahead and start to work that direction, right? Let's start to work my left side here. Anticipate through, then we talk about the execution component, okay? We got to get these downs, because what happens to a lot of you guys is, this is a great example. I'll play it out. Just going to let it play, and then we'll circle back and answer the question, why? Anticipate left. And when we piece this together, right, we no longer see anybody else around us at that point. When we piece this together, here's one of the biggest things that a lot of you guys struggle with, which, by the way, when it comes to actually executing, I am going to leave you guys my new practice video on how to practice if you have 1 hour a day, if you have 2 hours a day, if you have 3 hours a day, if you have 4 hours a day, if you have 5 hours a day. At the end of this video, it'll be right at the end, guys. Basically, what drills can you do? What things can you do to get better aim and movement and awareness? Now, what happens to a lot of you is this. You don't get this down, okay? So you don't get this down, at which point, hey, what happens? Well, this guy is the one that ends up killing you. But what happens for me is I'm able to get that first down, at which point I get the thirst, at which point I know this guy's pushing, at which point I then see on radar that there's this guy to my left, so I anticipate him outside. When he's not outside, now I know he's inside. We push through. We obviously notice I didn't ADS at all right there when we talk about getting that first shot off and really using that movement to our advantage. This guy's already broken, right? There's no way. I actually took no damage in that gunfight. There's no way that that guy's going to win that, because not only did I get first shot, but I have a massive advantage, a 150 plus health advantage, simply because I hip fired before I ADS'd and I anticipated. Now from here, let's talk about why. We buy loadout. Well, remember, we don't have loadout to this point. We do have our GPR, right? But we don't have perks yet, because we got that supply box UAV, and we're now going to go grab the PP919. Now we're in a really good position. We've got perks, we've got lethals and tacticals, we've got our GPR, we've got our PP919. Now we really start to have that momentum, and we have portable radar. Always look up here, right? We've got this information here. Now, I'm not quite able to get these down. This was the one common theme in this gameplay for me here, was I'm not quite able to get those. But look at our positioning right here. We're just going to keep kind of playing our positioning. We're not going to be over aggressive. We're just going to kind of slow down here. We're going to keep playing this positioning as much as possible, knowing that I still have a lot of people over this direction. But I don't want to be over aggressive here, okay? I know that I'm just trying to play angles because there's multiple enemies. There's so many enemies over there. And even though we have that Omni movement, guys, we don't want to be in a situation where we absolutely have to use it. The other thing that I will say here is me playing positioning, low risk, high reward kills. If somebody absolutely torches me from the left side here as I'm shooting this car, I just break the line of sight just like I do right here, right? If I get torched from somebody sitting in this little doorway right here, okay? Absolutely laser beamed. What do? I broke the line of sight. This is where that positioning dynamic is so important. And by the way, from the previous information I had, if we go back here, right, from this portable radar, I know that there's nobody in reactor or anybody around me at this moment, okay? So I know that positioning-wise, because of the information that I popped, everything is in front of me. So this is where we start to piece together that information, always keeping track of our cover, and this is how we kind of prevent those third-party situations. Now, they're still going to happen, but look, I'm just, like, right here, okay? Now, this is just execution. Why do I make this decision to be aggressive, okay? Why do I make that decision? Well, when I look at this, when we think about where this enemy is coming from, okay, I really want to go in depth into my mindset, guys. I want you to think about the fact that there is not a ton of cover below this stairwell right here, okay? So when I go, and you're going to see that, in this moment, he took a plate, okay? I'm on this head glitch. I'm in a really good spot. Now, at this moment, he's broken. I'm also broken. So now the advantage is back to who gets the first shot off, okay? And me pushing here is an unpredictable play. That's not a play that most players make. And what do I know? There's no cover for him, right? There's nowhere that he can go here to escape me pushing. Easy kill, right? That's an easy kill at that point because of the unpredictable play and because he's caught out in the open. Let's go ahead. We're going to back off. Mini-map ping show people to my kind of right side here, back where we knew enemies were before. So we're just going to kind of keep working and keep working based on information. One guy flying in. Now, let's answer the question, why? Okay? What do we do next from here? Let's talk about that decision-making component. 9 kills, by the way. Really good pacing throughout this. Kind of stuck in this middle ground right here, right? But why do I give up on all that information back behind me, okay? Why do I give up on all of this, right? All of this that was happening over here that we just talked about, all of those mini-map pings. It's the next piece of information, guys. I've got some better kill opportunities over this way with people flying in. I need to keep in mind those people that are inside of this building, but they're inside of that building, which means if I want to go get those kills, I have to push inside. And that's a really tough position to be in. That requires a lot of movement and guessing, which, hey, let's go take the people flying in right here, okay? Now, obviously, yes, probably with the XM4, with a little bit better bullet velocity, I should be able to get that kill, okay? That's a kill that I need to find a way to get there, and I just did it. And it doesn't give me the kill, it doesn't give me the information. But we're going to kind of keep working back kind of over this direction based on people flying in, based on those parachute sounds. Then we got one guy right here, down. Now, what I don't like in this moment, and you're going to see, is I'm completely out in the open, right? This is the situation where, hey, don't worry about looting that guy. Right now in this moment, I am susceptible from here, which I don't think that's actually a person, here, this rooftop, from behind me. Like, I can get shot from literally every single direction. So solve that, fix that, right? Let's get back to cover here, and then we'll figure out what our next move is, which you see it right there. Boom, PP919, nasty. 10 kills. Now, what do we do from here? Okay, let's reset real quick. Let's reload. Let's make sure we have ammo. Obviously, that does not give you full ammo anymore. You got to really keep that in mind. I don't know why that's a thing, but we're going to work back over this direction. Now, if I had pushed over to my right side here and kind of challenged these guys that were over here, that's totally fine, guys. We could have pushed that direction, but ultimately, what I see is all of these people are out of circle. And that's a really easy position to be in when it comes to those low-risk, high-reward kills. Remembering that we have this information, and you're going to see me kind of slow down here, right? Still got to worry about the right side. I know there's people in pods. I don't know if there's anybody reactor. We did have some information up there, but I'm just kind of keeping track of my cover right here. What do we got? One guy down below. I'm just acting on these kills of these people that are flying in and don't have a ton of plates. Can't quite get that down. Can't quite get that down. So, what do we do? Why? Why do we go challenge these guys? Well, they're low health. right? So let's go figure out how we can get these kills and figure out what our next play is. Still kind of focusing on that positioning, though. Like, I'm not playing too over-aggressive. I'm just kind of playing my range, playing my cover a little bit. You're not seeing me run around trying to dance on everybody. Look at all these people right here, by the way. Okay. Let's watch, and then we'll talk about why. Okay? Let's watch, and then we'll talk about why. We'll just keep answering that question throughout. Why do I make the decisions that I do? Okay. So let's go ahead and pull this back here. I want to pull this back all the way to here because the answer to the question why I made the decision that I did there starts right here, okay? Remembering information. This is another really big component when it comes to game sense, no matter what map you play, is paying attention to character skins. Okay, I want you to note that character skin right there, okay? And I want you to note this character skin, okay? And I want you to specifically remember that that is 2 enemies, okay? So I want you to remember both character skins and the fact that it is 2 enemies. So as we push in here, okay, we're going to kind of work our way through. We obviously have all of these weapon pings around us. This guy flying in back behind me here. We're going to go ahead and take that enemy out. We obviously see enemy number 2 on the roof. We back off of that fight. We know that there's still a ton of fighting happening out of circle. When I see that skin, I remember that it's 2. The 2 guys that were on loadout. That is my assumption. I could be wrong. This could just be 1. But I'm going to err on the side of caution here. Down. Thirsted. Notice I immediately back off here because I don't know where that second enemy is. So instead of trying to look at radar and look at the minimap and then figure out what my next move is, right? And then try to basically stay where I'm at. I'm going to back off here, at which point now I can see the minimap and I clearly see that it is 3 enemies. So now we play unpredictable. We circle around. We obviously see enemy number 1 here in the corner. And we see enemy number 2. I'm never going to win this gunfight, guys. I'm never going to win a 1v2 where they're both shooting at me. So what do? I back off. I strafe backwards. Why? Because it breaks the line of sight from this enemy right here. Okay, so this is a little bit of basic movement that we're using. We're using basic movement, strafing backwards to get better positioning and cover. Now, I know this enemy is still going to push here, right? So, sure enough, here he comes, right? Now, we are able to get that down right there. Okay, so we're not going to be too over aggressive here. I'm just going to try to find the angle to get this thirst because that takes him out of the fight. It gives me the kill, and more importantly, I see the minimap pings, at which point I know that this guy is pushing right here. Now we go ahead and back off. So that's where we're using the minimap to our advantage. We're obviously remembering those character skins, and then from there we start to figure out what our next move is. By the way, we're at 14 kills already. I just kind of catch this guy off guard. I hear a little bit of audio there. Bunch of people still back behind me over to my right side on my level. Like, I know that these guys all still have to push in here, right? These guys are still out of circle, and this is the importance of rotating early, guys. You got to get into circle early and try to stay ahead as much as possible, and you're going to see that during this end game right here. Okay, I'm just going to let the rest of this roll, guys, because we've really gone in depth on a lot of information right here. A lot of different things that I want you to work on game sense wise. We need to be worrying about cover, playing our positioning as much as possible. Obviously, remembering information. Now, in this case, guys, I get a little bit lucky from the third party because I go down, but that team that downed me ends up getting a third party. So that's where, yeah, that third party dynamic actually ends up helping me in that situation, and I'm able to get out, at which point we start to reset this fight. Now look at all the fighting to my right side, right? I do not just want to push into this situation. Why? Because I end up in the situation I just was. I end up in the situation I was just in, and I end up in a really bad spot. So let's slow this down here. Let's keep playing our positioning. Look at where circle is, right? So I'm right on the edge of circle right here. Still 5 teams left. And by the way, guys, if you are subscribed, I've talked about this in previous videos. I think when Area 99 gets down to like 6 to 8 teams is when it really plays best. I think that's when it really plays well because there's not as much third partying. I can't get it down at this point. I just can't quite get the downs that I need to get to be able to get that momentum. But I know there's a ton of people in here. And my thought right now is let's just get out of here. Like, that's just not a situation that I want to be in with multiple enemies down below me. And I know that I'm going to end up getting caught in a tough spot. We do play high ground here. We kind of work our way back across, but we're going to really stay up top here and really play this carefully. I don't have self-revive. Okay, so I'm not going to push in here at all. I'm going to try to hold them out because I know they have to rotate to me, but I don't want to push in here at all and put myself anywhere close to a bad situation. Worried about all of the different windows. And at this point, I'm like, man, these guys are just really, really passionate, and these guys are just kind of holding angles, and these, finally, I'm able to get it down right there. Not quite able to get that thirst, but these guys are just, I can't do anything. I just don't have the window there to be able to get any down. So we're just going to go ahead, clear the ladder, because they are super aggressive. And now we go ahead and start to really, really think ahead, okay? Now we start to really think ahead right here. I know that these guys are down below, so we're going to jump across. Why? Because if I just wait for the circle, then what's going to end up happening is they're going to be below me, I'm going to be above, we're both going to try to rotate over, and they're going to kill me as I'm trying to rotate over. Instead, I'm just going to rotate early here. I'm just going to rotate early and know that those guys have to push across, right? Those guys have to push across, and this is why we always think about rotating early and staying in zone. I know that these guys have to push, so then it's just on me to go ahead and execute and get the kills. You're going to see that. One guy flying in backside this way. We can go ahead and act on that. We can go ahead and take this guy flying in. Watch the guy on roof. Another one that just gets away and I can't quite get. Unfortunate right there. These guys still got to push across here. Yep. Come on. One guy flying in. Can't quite get this guy either. His GPR was just selling me here. I just could not get any... I just couldn't get the downs that I needed. But we're just still waiting. Watch. Easy kill. Right? Now, got to worry about back behind me because technically I can't stay up here. So, hey, let's go ahead and start to rotate early. Let's not get held on the edge of zone here because I rotated late. Instead, let's get in here early while I still have time to finesse using my cover, taking that kill right there, and keep working in right here. I still know there's a bunch of people around. One guy bought back up top. There's those people over to my right side. There's shooting straight above me here. So I've got a lot of information that I can work on. We've just got to be really, really strategic and be really careful not to get caught off guard. Just playing cover here. Just playing cover. Just playing angles. Just playing a little bit of information if we can get it. Now, of course, I'm always going to be thinking about high ground, guys. These guys are all down below me. I just don't know where. I don't know if there's even a lower level to this building. Oh, there he is. He's straight ahead. I just saw him, actually. I didn't see him the first time. But we're always going to be thinking about in circle with cover, then power position. So let's go ahead. Watch this mortar strike or cluster strike to my right side. By the way, notice we're at 24 kills here. We're just going to keep playing patient here. No rush. Sometimes we can just chill out and watch and play our positioning for a minute. Watch this guy up top here. We're just going to go ahead and take that third party in a second. Boom. Take that easy third party right there. Nice. Still worried about the team that had to rotate into my right side. I'm still worried about other teams being on these rooftops right here. You know, constantly thinking about where enemies might come from. Could come from the zip. Could come from the inside stairwell. Could come from this side right here. You know, trying to see if anybody's rotating in. Zip right there. Left side. Got to execute. There's kill number 26, and we're down to basically 2 teams left. We've got 4 enemies, so I know we don't have any full quads left. We just got to figure out where these guys are. Bunch of fighting over to my right side. We're going to act on those weapon pings. Let's go ahead and start to get in the mix and try to third party this a little bit. Notice the patience, though. Not trying to play too over aggressive here, right? Trying to play a little positioning, third party if we can. And just like that, guys, we're going to be able to clean this up. Just a really, really good all-around game. So, guys, when it comes to that game sense, okay, obviously execution's number 1. Remember information. Always remember your cover. Always limit the number of angles that you can get shot from. It's really going to help you on this map. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.